Hello guys, I think speculative decoding is one of the most important research directions in AI right now. And there is going to be more and more jobs in speculative decoding, and there is going to be many more startups, PhD topics and everything in speculative decoding. And the reasoning is simple. So as AI gets better, we use it for more and more inference. Before it was just chat, short message, but now agent works for hours. So now inference is becoming more and more important. And higher and higher proportion of compute is going to inference. Inference is a lot bigger compared to training. So inference is going to get a huge boost in startups, opportunities, positions, jobs, everything. And I feel like speculative decoding is one of the, maybe the most unlimited way, its least limited way to speed up inference. Because when you write kernels, for example, I feel like there is some hardware limits in place that you may always maybe write better and better algorithm, but I feel like speculative decoding just has a lot more potential. And I think you will be able to run trillion parameter model on just your phone, iPhone, with speculative decoding. And I don't know if you will be able to write kernels for trillion parameter model. Maybe you need to change completely different algorithms, but I feel like speculative decoding has a lot more potential than other types of inference optimization. So you can start by reading this blog post, DFlash 2. So this is a new speculative decoding method from DFlash. It was a bit older one. And it uses diffusion to predict multiple tokens at once. It's not just predicting like autoregressively next token. So I was reading this, it's very interesting. I think it's not so difficult to explain. I will tell you how to learn these things easier. And then Eagle. Eagle is also a good way, although I think maybe DFlash 2 is better, but Eagle is a classic. You also wanna maybe check this one out. Maybe it's better for different situations. There is maybe Eagle 2 and Eagle 3 as well. There is Fast Eagle. There are all these variations of Eagle. Then there is Medusa, speculative decoding. And there is all these types of adding extra heads. Now adding extra heads is maybe cheaper, faster, but for example, DFlash 2 has a lot more power to do more speculative decoding. So I think this is the best method for now, generally, but maybe it's not for every case. And by the way, I'm posting all of this in the school. We got all the lessons to learn everything from scratch and to do autonomous AI research, which is also the future. So as you can see here, I am running currently research on speculative decoding on this GPU. And I figured out new way to do experiments and research. So I would actually have this voice chat, real-time voice conversation. And then I would just talk to it. And then I would tell it to start experiment and start a different chat. And then as the experiment is running, I would tell it to report back to me results. And as I'm waiting, I'm also talking to this real-time GPT voice to explain DFlash 2, how it works, explain the heads, explain diffusion, how it works, all this stuff. So this is a interesting way to do this. I'm gonna mute. Let's see.
Yeah, let me take a look.
You see how it's talking to me right now?
That's a solid setup. You use me to explain concepts and start or check experiments while the actions happen separately and report back.
Yeah, so this is how it's working. So I use this, I can just talk to it all day. I can just question it to explain these things, to monitor experiments. Now I'm also setting up different experiment architectures. I'm gonna talk about this in a different video, but my idea is that, for example, for speculative decoding, I just want to let AI to reason, have experiment queue, do literature, then do experiments, write down failed experiments, failed reasoning setups, successful ones. So this way, I just want to create this GitHub repository that's going to have so much stuff about speculative decoding, all of the knowledge there, and maybe somebody else will be able to just clone this and then get all of the knowledge from there, all of the experiments, and then AI will be able, it's just like documentations, wiki for all of the experiments. That's my idea as well. So you can go whichever path you want. You can go talking to AI here to explain this to you, to to explain these concepts. You can also do a bit more automated or together. So I think speculative decoding is a really good way because you see how LLMs are getting better and better, and we have Qwen 3.827b, very small model, very powerful. Here you can see this Qwen 52, so it's basically Luna Max open source. It's so good. And as these models get better and better, speculative decoding will become more and more important as more people use it. I imagine in like a year or two, I'm just gonna have a bunch of these agents running all the time, maybe locally, maybe as they become better so they can do tasks autonomously. So I think it will just become more and more important, and it's maybe least limited way to accelerate inference. Maybe there can be different ways, like using multiple speculative decoding models, maybe very small and then a bit bigger, and then the huge trillion parameter is the target model or the base model. So I'm not sure, but I did many experiments as well. Here you can see I'm loading that exact Qwen model in like 1 bit or something onto my GPU, and then just telling Luna to try to train its own DFlash 2 here. I'm trying to figure out how to do this DFlash speculative decoding, how to train them. So I'm measuring acceptance. For example, if it's accepting 4% of the tokens, that's not good. Maybe it needs to accept like 50% of suggested tokens to be good. But then you also need to learn how to do training. So this is actually good if you will also be learning other things like training, distillation, architecture, transformers, everything around AI research. So this is good. If you research speculative decoding, you are learning training, post-training, everything as well. So this is, for example, an idea. I just made this on 1 hour ago, and maybe I'll try to just make this a repository of speculative decoding, all of the experiments, all of the, so here, all of the knowledge, literature as well. Maybe I want to have multiple agents, maybe debating, and then doing literature review, doing experiments, and then all of the knowledge we get in here. So later somebody can just clone this repository, and their AI agent will read this, all of the evidence, knowledge, and then set up speculative decoding architecture for them very easily. This may also turn into startup, or I don't know, but we'll see. I'm also telling the agents to do notes, write everything daily, write failed experiments, everything here. Just no need maybe for like huge checkpoints, huge files, but all the documents, Wikipedia, knowledge, everything goes here. And this is also maybe similar to Discovery Loop. You see this company by these like very famous people, and they want to create this autonomous experimentation, autonomous research. So that's also in there. So I'm just giving you ideas to think about all of this stuff. So that's it for this video. You can visit school if you want to get into the inner circle. You want to learn to become AI researcher with all of the courses, roadmaps. There is many courses, everything from scratch. And see you in the next video.